Okay, what we're going to do is review the Faber-Castell 9000 drawing pencils, and this is by request, so I thought I'd go ahead and pick up a set and let you know what I think about them. Now, first of all, it comes in this nice metal tin, which is much like the metal tin that I get other drawing pencils, such as the Staedtler Mars Lumograph 100, which I'll talk about in a second. And there are 6 pencils in here, and it ranges from HB to B, 2B, 4B, 6B, and the darkest pencil is 8B. And I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and you can see this is what it looks like. It's a green hexagon shaped pencil, pretty basic, nice gold lettering. And it says on here Castell 9000. And this one happens to be the HB. Now, as far as how it is when you draw with this particular pencil, I went ahead and did that off camera. And let me just zoom in here real quick so that you can see this better. Now, the Faber-Castell 9000 is up here. And what I have noticed with this pencil is that it draws on smooth. I didn't notice any grit. Sometimes you'll find that you'll be drawing and then it's like you hit a rock and then you have to like rub the pencil off on the side somewhere to get past that little piece of rock, that hard clay material that's mixed in with the graphite, before you can continue on. And when you get that, that's not a good thing, especially if you like to draw and you're doing a shading and then all of a sudden everything goes to a halt because you hit that rock. And I don't know what else to call it, little clay bits that could end up inside your lead. As I went through the pencils, here was the HB, for example, and I was doing this shading, and this is very light shading. I didn't put any pressure down on the paper at all because that would give me a false result, and I just wanted to see what kind of shading I can get, and whether it went on smooth. And I can say that these are definitely high quality pencils, that they go on the paper nice and smooth, shading is nice and even, and I did not once run into any issue of a piece of clay or something in the lead as I was shading. So that's a good thing. And as you can also see here, that the tonal values gradually increased as we went from HB to B, 2B, 4B, 6B, and the darkest pencil being 8B. And you can see the gradual increase in tonal value here, which tells me that they did a good job in their formulation of making the steps very even from one grade to the next. And these all increment in 2s, except for where it goes from HB to B, which is an increment of 1, and from B to 2B. A B is the same as a 1B, they just don't put a 1 in front. So this is an increment grade of 1 from here to here to here. And then it jumps into increment grades of 2 from 2, 4, 6, and 8. And most drawing pencils, that's pretty standard. Now, while I like the pencil, and I will definitely be doing many drawings with these Faber-Castell 9000, because I own drawing pencils from many manufacturers. There's Blick, Staedtler, Derwent, that and of course Faber-Castell, that clearly I'm going to have my own personal favorites. And I can tell you, after having worked with the 9000, that while I will use these until they are used up, I will not personally be buying them again, because they did not surpass my personal favorite drawing pencils, which I will show you now, and that is, as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, the Staedtler Mars Lumograph 100. These are my absolute favorite pencils. I like them better than the Derwents. I like them better than the Generals. I like them better than Faber-Castell. I like them better than all of them, actually. And I'm going to show you why I find these to be the best. And of course, this is an opinion. This is a personal opinion. Artists, we all have opinions. And we all have our favorites. So let me just show you here. On the bottom here is what I did with the Staedtler Mars Lumograph. Okay? And you can see that here the HBs, you know, they are the same, and the 2Bs are the same. Now, I didn't have a B available. As you can see on here, it goes from HB to 2B, 4B, 6B, 7B, 8B. So it already starts going in increments of 2 values, except for it hits a 7B. I don't use the 7B that much because you're not going to find a whole lot of difference between 6 to 7 or 7 to 8. So I stick with going from 6B to 8B. But anyway, you can see that they're pretty much on par as far as tonal values. The 8Bs are pretty much the same. The 2Bs are pretty much the same. But then they start to deviate as we get to the 4B. And this is one of the reasons why I like the Staedtler better. Although this tonal differences are even and they're very linear, okay, this one starts to make a more aggressive departure when it comes here to the 4B. It's mildly darker in tone with the 4B. Then it gets even more darker in the 6B, as you can see. And then the 8B just really separates itself and gives me one of the darkest darks that I possibly can get from a standard drawing pencil. And for myself personally, I like being able to achieve these darker tones with the Staedtler to cause more pop in my photographs. And the reason why it is darker is because Staedtler adds some extra material, most likely a carbon, inside their graphic mix to achieve this. And this also helps for less glare, or you know, when you move the paper and you can see that reflection of light that shines off, you can see that that's not the case when you go from the 6, which you can see the glare going off the 6, but notice the 8 does not have that, and yet this 8 does have that glare coming off the graphite there. You can see that shine coming off. You don't want that, and yet you can see here that we don't have it here. Another plus. So for my money, I like the Staedtler Lumograph 100, and I will stick with that because I get better contrast than I do from the other pencils. But this is a high quality pencil set and definitely worth using. But if you have a choice and you want to get really dark darks and not so much the sheen, this is, in my opinion, a superior drawing pencil set. And I did the 7B down here just so that you can see that it starts to really depart with the 7B and then goes to the 8B, and you don't have that shine so much as you do with the other ones. Okay, so I give the Faber-Castell 9000 high marks as a quality pencil. Goes on soft, goes on really nice, good shading, but I rank it below my personal favorite, which is the Mars Lumograph 100, for the reasons here that it becomes a lot more aggressive with the darks, and I like that to bring that picture out, to make the contrast much sharper. But that's a personal preference, so I hope that helps you in your decision making as far as drawing pencils are concerned. Thanks again for watching.